21 miles wide at its narrowest point. That is all that separates two worlds. On one side, the Persian Gulf, warm, enclosed, ancient. On the other, the Gulf of Oman, open, restless, reaching toward the Indian Ocean. Between them lies the Strait of Hormuz, a corridor so narrow, so strategic, so charged with consequence that a single decision made within its waters can alter the price of fuel in Tokyo, London, or Lagos within hours. This is not a dramatic claim. It is geography. Roughly 1/5 of the world's oil passes through this strait every single day. Tankers move through it in slow, deliberate lines, massive vessels carrying crude oil from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Iraq, and Iran itself. They enter through a 2-mile inbound lane. They exit through a 2-mile outbound lane. A median strip of water, barely 2 miles wide, separates them. Ships the length of 4 football fields pass each other with a precision that seems impossible until you watch it happen. To understand the Strait of Hormuz is to understand why Iran matters more than the world often admits. Iran controls the entire northern coastline of this passage. Every tanker that enters or exits the Persian Gulf sails within sight of Iranian territory. Every naval vessel, every cargo ship, every energy lifeline of the modern industrial world passes under the shadow of a country that the West has spent decades trying to isolate and largely failed. But the Strait of Hormuz is not only about oil, strategy, or geopolitics. Strip away the headlines, and what remains is something far older and stranger. A landscape shaped by heat, salt, and time. A place where fishing villages have existed for thousands of years. Where coral reefs hide beneath water, so clear it looks painted. Where the smell of the sea mixes with the smell of dust, and where the people who live here have learned to exist in the space between two worlds. Not quite the Gulf, not quite the ocean, not entirely sure which civilization claims them. The strait has always been a crossing point. Long before oil tankers, it was crossed by dhows carrying frankincense, pearls, dried fish, and cloth. Arab merchants, Persian traders, Portuguese conquerors, and British naval officers all understood that whoever controlled this narrow channel controlled everything east of the Arabian Peninsula. The Portuguese built a fort on Hormuz Island in the early 1500s. The ruins still stand today, reddish and eroding, surrounded by the mineral-rich soil that gives the island its alien color palette. They called it the most important trading post in the known world. That was 5 centuries ago. The importance has not diminished, but geography alone does not explain why the Strait of Hormuz makes Iran more mysterious. Iran is already a country that the world thinks it understands. It sees the slogans on walls, the clerics on television, the nuclear negotiations in Geneva. It has formed a picture, a clear picture, and in forming that picture, it has missed almost everything. The strait is where that picture begins to crack. Because standing on the Iranian shore of Hormuz and looking south across the water, you do not see ideology. You see fishermen mending nets in the blue hour before dawn. You see children playing on rocky beaches. You see mountains in the distance, bone-dry and burning orange under the afternoon sun. You see a coastline that has been inhabited continuously for more than 3,000 years, indifferent to every empire that ever tried to own it. This is the beginning of the journey. The Strait of Hormuz is not simply a choke point on a map. It is a threshold. Step through it, not by ship, but by attention, and Iran reveals itself in ways that no newspaper, no sanctions list, no political speech has ever managed to convey. What lies on the Iranian side of this water is ancient, layered, and deeply human. This is where we begin. The boat crosses in 30 minutes, from the port city of Bandar Abbas on the Iranian mainland to the shores of Hormuz Island. The distance is short. The transformation is total. Hormuz Island is not what anyone expects. It is not green. It is not lush. It has no forests, no rivers, no obvious reason to be inhabited at all. What it has instead is color, violent, improbable, almost hallucinatory color that covers the hills and beaches like something spilled from the sky. The soil on Hormuz Island contains over 70 different minerals. Red iron oxide stains the cliffs in shades ranging from rust to deep crimson. Yellow sulfur veins run through white limestone. Purple and black and orange and pink. The island looks less like a geological formation and more like a painter's accident. The locals call it the Rainbow Island. The name barely does it justice. The beach at the south end of the island is red. Not reddish, not rose-colored, genuinely, deeply red, as if the earth is bleeding slowly into the sea. The water that laps this shore is transparent and blue-green. The contrast between the red sand and the clear water is so extreme that photographs of it are routinely dismissed as edited. They are not. This is simply what the place looks like. The island has been inhabited for millennia. At its center stand the ruins of the Portuguese fort of Our Lady of the Conception, built in 1515 and occupied for over a century before the Safavid Persian Empire, in alliance with the British East India Company, expelled the Portuguese in 1622. The fort's thick walls are still largely standing, pink-tinted sandstone blocks stacked in the peculiar style of colonial military architecture, watching the harbor from a low hill. Inside the walls, the floor is sandy, strewn with broken pottery. Wild goats walk through without ceremony. The people of Hormuz Island are a mixture of Persian, Arab, and African descent, a human record of the trade routes that once passed through here. Their food reflects this mixture. One of the island's most distinctive dishes is a bread made from red soil, not metaphorically, but literally. The iron-rich soil of the island, called gelak, is mixed with spices and used as an ingredient. It has been eaten here for generations. It tastes of minerals and smoke, and something that has no name in any other cuisine. The island's population is small, just a few thousand people. Most of the young have left for Bandar Abbas or further. The ones who remain do so with a stubbornness that seems almost geological, as if they too are part of the landscape, immovable and tinted by the same minerals as the hills. The fishermen leave before sunrise. Their boats are wooden, painted in chipped blues and greens. They return in the late morning with grouper, snapper, and shrimp that they sell from tables covered with plastic sheeting along the harbor wall. The fish are fresh and smell of the open sea. Cats wait nearby with patient certainty. Walking the island takes an afternoon. There are no cars on most of its interior paths, just goat tracks and the occasional motorbike. In the heat of midday, nothing moves. The silence is not peaceful exactly. It is heavy, mineral, full of its own substance. The shadows of the ruined fort cut sharp angles across the red earth. A crow sits on the highest remaining wall and watches the strait below. The sea surrounding Hormuz Island is part of a protected marine area. Coral reefs grow in the shallow water along the southern and eastern coasts. Branching corals, table corals, brain corals in shades of pale green and brown. Sea turtles nest on the beaches between April and September. Dugongs have been sighted in the calmer bays, large and slow, grazing on seagrass beds in water, so clear their shadows are visible on the sandy bottom. The island sits directly at the mouth of the strait. Every tanker that passes the entrance to the Persian Gulf passes within clear sight of Hormuz Island. The fishermen watch them go. The tankers do not stop. They never have. They move through this water because they must, because the world demands it. The island watches them go the same way it has watched everything go for 3,000 years. With complete indifference, with complete permanence. The mainland announces itself differently. Bandar Abbas is not a beautiful city. It was not built for beauty. It was built for function, as a port, a naval base, a commercial hub, a point of departure and arrival. It sprawls along the northern shore of the strait in a low, heat-bleached sprawl of concrete and palm trees, oil tanks and shipping cranes, mosques and markets, and the constant movement of trucks. But cities built for function have their own honesty. And Bandar Abbas, once you surrender the expectation of elegance, reveals something more interesting than elegance. It is a city that has never stopped moving. The port of Bandar Abbas is the busiest in Iran. Everything that enters or leaves the country by sea passes through here. Consumer goods from China, industrial equipment from Europe, food imports and oil exports, and the 10,000 small cargoes of a nation conducting commerce under sanctions. through intermediaries, with a resourcefulness that has become its own kind of expertise. Walk the harbor at 6 in the morning and the activity is overwhelming. Cranes swing containers through the early light. Forklift trucks move in patterns that appear random, but are not. Workers in hard hats and orange vests eat breakfast from plastic containers while watching the water. The air smells of salt and diesel and something hot, tar or metal. It is hard to say which. The fish market opens at the same hour. It is covered but not air-conditioned, which means by 8 in the morning, the heat is already significant. The tables are loaded with the catch from the night before. Kingfish and tuna and sardines, squid and prawns, and small crabs, all glistening under fluorescent lights. The vendors call out prices in Persian and Arabic, and occasionally in a third language that seems to belong to neither, a local dialect that carries traces of both. Women in dark chadors move through the stalls with the practiced efficiency of people who have been shopping the same market for decades. Touching fish, smelling fish, negotiating without apparent emotion. The old city of Bandar Abbas is almost gone now. What remains is scattered between modern construction. A Portuguese church converted and converted again until its origins are barely visible. An old caravanserai whose central courtyard now serves as a car park. A few merchant houses with the carved wooden balconies and wind towers that were once the standard architecture of Gulf port cities. The wind towers are worth stopping for. Called bejirs, they are built to catch the prevailing breeze and funnel it down into the rooms below. A pre-electric air conditioning system so effective that it kept interiors cool even in the 120-degree summers that define this coastline. They rise from rooftops in 4-sided towers, each face open to a different wind direction. The best remaining examples in Bandar Abbas are at the edges of the old quarter, their mud brick surfaces crumbling, but their function still apparent. They catch the air, they direct it down. The people of Bandar Abbas are used to being overlooked by the rest of Iran. The capital, Tehran, is a 14-hour drive to the northwest. The religious centers of Qom and Mashhad belong to a different geography and a different sensibility. Bandar Abbas exists at the edge of the country, of the climate, of the world that Iran presents to itself. This edge quality gives the city a particular character. People here are more direct, less interested in appearances. The Gulf has always been a meeting point of cultures, and the city reflects that. There are Arab families whose roots in Bandar Abbas predate the Iranian state by centuries. Baluchi traders from the southeastern province, African Iranian communities descended from the slaves and sailors of the old drow trade, South Asian merchants who came as workers and stayed as residents. The city's food is an argument for this mixture. In the evening, the corniche fills with vendors selling fresh crab and fish, wrapped in flatbread with a sauce of tamarind and dried lime. Flavors that belong to the Indian Ocean world, not to the Persian interior. Young men race motorcycles along the waterfront. Families sit on the low wall facing the sea, eating ice cream in the heat, watching the lights of tankers moving slowly across the dark water. The strait is visible from everywhere in Bandar Abbas. You cannot forget where you are. Keshem is the largest island in Iran. It sits just inside the mouth of the Strait of Hormuz, separated from the mainland by a channel so narrow that in some places it seems you could almost wade across. Yet the island feels entirely separate, not just geographically but atmospherically, as if it operates at a slightly different frequency from everything around it. The island is long and low and strange. Its interior is dominated by geological formations that seem to belong to another planet. Its coastline is fringed with mangrove forests, the northernmost mangroves in the world, growing in dense, dark tangles along the tidal flats, their roots arching out of the water like legs. Birds nest in them in tens of thousands. Herons stand motionless in the channels between the mangrove roots, watching for fish with a patience that seems philosophical. The Stars Valley in the center of Keshem is what happens when soft sedimentary rock is eroded by wind and rain over millions of years. The result is a landscape of spires and arches, narrow canyons and collapsed chambers, a labyrinth of pale brown rock that glows orange and gold in the late afternoon light. Walking through it, you lose orientation quickly. The passages between the rock formations are narrow, sometimes barely shoulder width. The walls rise 20 and 30 feet above you. The sky appears in a strip above, blue and distant. The local people of Keshem say the valley was created when a star fell here long ago. The explanation is not scientific, but standing inside the valley at dusk, when the shadows fill the lower passages and the upper rock catches the last of the sun, the story feels less like folklore and more like a reasonable description of what your eyes are telling you. The island has its own free trade zone, an economic arrangement that has brought factories and warehouses to its eastern end, a deliberately unglamorous counterpoint to the wild geology of its interior. The free zone exists because of the island's position, directly at the entrance to the Persian Gulf, directly relevant to the shipping lanes that pass through the strait. Economics, as always in this region, follows geography. The villages on Keshem are quiet and self-contained. Women here wear the burqa, not the Afghan style, but the local Gulf style, a brightly colored mask of painted fabric that covers the face while leaving the eyes visible. The masks are gold and red and orange, embroidered with small patterns. They are worn with practical unself-consciousness, the same way a fisherman wears boots. This is the clothing of this coast. It has been worn here longer than anyone can remember. The sea around Keshem is shallow in places and deep in others. The tidal range is extreme. In some bays, The tide retreats 3 kilometers, leaving vast mudflats exposed where birds feed in enormous flocks. The dolphins that move through the strait between Cheshire and the mainland are known to follow the fishing boats, surfacing close enough to touch. The fishermen call them by names, not the names of individual animals, but the names of types, of regular visitors, of presences they have known their entire lives. The water around Keshem is warm even in winter. In summer, it is hot in the way that only shallow tropical seas can be. Body temperature at the surface fading to cool and dark a few meters down. Sea snakes drift through the mangrove channels. Rays glide over the sandy bottom in the open bays, their wingtips leaving faint traces in the sand as they pass. There is a cave on the southern coast of Keshem called Chaku. It descends into the rock through a narrow entrance, opening into a series of chambers where the walls are covered with natural salt crystals. The salt catches the light from above and scatters it in every direction. In the deepest chamber, where the ceiling opens to the sky, there is silence of a particular quality. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of something that has been here for a very long time and has no need to announce itself. Keshem does not perform for visitors. It simply exists, the way old things exist, completely, without apology, without explanation. The Bandari people have never had a country of their own. They have always been of this coastline, the northern rim of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and the coastline has always belonged to whoever held power at any given moment. Persians, Arabs, Portuguese, British, and then the modern Iranian state. Through all of it, the Bandari continued fishing, trading, and building their houses to catch the wind. They speak a language called Bandari, which is related to Persian, but carries within it the evidence of every people who ever passed through this coast. Arabic words for the sea, its creatures, its moods. Portuguese words for certain tools and objects. African words brought by the communities descended from the historical slave trade of the Indian Ocean world. The grammar is Persian, but the vocabulary is a record of arrival and departure, of contact and exchange. The music of the Bandari people is unlike anything else in Iran. It is called zar, and it is something that Iranian culture mostly does not acknowledge. Zar is a healing ritual with roots in East Africa and the Horn of Africa, brought to the Gulf Coast through the same trade routes that brought everything else. The ceremony involves music, possession and release, drums and wind instruments played in trance-inducing rhythms, practitioners who enter altered states, communities who gather to witness and participate in the healing of those who are believed to be afflicted by spirits. The Iranian government does not encourage zar. It sits uncomfortably with official religion and official culture. But along the coast and on the islands, it persists. Not loudly, not publicly, but it persists. because it has been part of this coastline for centuries, and the coastline keeps its own traditions. The food of this coast is its own argument for distinctiveness. The cuisine of Bandar Abbas and Keshem and the Straits Islands bears almost no resemblance to the food of Isfahan or Tehran or Tabriz. It begins with the sea, with fish and shrimp and dried squid and salted prawns. It layers onto this a spice vocabulary that comes from across the Indian Ocean: fenugreek, dried lime, tamarind, cumin, coriander, in combinations that produce flavors both sharp and deep. The bread is thin and blistered from a convex griddle. The rice, when it appears, is cooked with fish and dried herbs. A flatbread called tamshi is stuffed with dates and spices and eaten with tea at dawn. The dhow builders still work on Keshem Island and at a few points on the mainland coast, though their numbers are dwindling. A traditional dhow is built without blueprints. The master builder carries the design in his head, the proportions, the curves, the placement of the frames. Knowledge passed from builder to builder over generations. The wood comes from India, mostly teak, because the forests of this coast are long gone. The tools have not changed much in 100 years. The boats take months to build and are built to last decades. Watching a dhow being built is watching knowledge that has no written form being transmitted through demonstration. The apprentice watches, the master works. Nothing is explained in words, because the words do not exist for what is being communicated. The knowledge lives in the hands and in the eye and in the judgment that comes from years of proximity to the sea. The women of the coastal communities do not appear much in photographs or documentaries. They are present, always, but at one remove, in the markets, in the domestic life of the harbor towns, in the organization of the fish trade that runs largely through female networks. The sorting and salting and drying of fish is predominantly women's work. The dried fish trade, which supplies inland Iran and extends across the Gulf to the other coast, is organized and executed largely by women who have been doing it since childhood. What the coastal people share, above all else, is a relationship with risk. The sea that gives them their food and their livelihood is also the sea that has drowned their husbands and sons and brothers for as long as anyone has been counting. The strait itself is not particularly rough. It lacks the storms of the open ocean. But the combination of intense shipping traffic, fast tidal currents, and the shallow reef-studded waters around the islands creates constant hazard for small boats. Fishermen know this. They accept it the way mountain people accept avalanche risk. Not with resignation exactly, but with a practiced awareness that makes carelessness feel not just foolish but disrespectful. This coast has always been at the edge. Physically, politically, culturally, the center of gravity in Iran has always been elsewhere. In the cities of the plateau, in the religious centers, in the structures of power that look inward toward the continental heartland rather than outward toward the sea. The people of the strait have therefore always been both Iranian and something else. Both part of the country and aware that the country does not fully see them. They find this less troubling than outsiders might expect. The water itself is extraordinary. The Strait of Hormuz is not a deep channel. Its average depth is approximately 35 meters, shallow by oceanic standards, but deep enough to sustain an ecosystem of remarkable complexity and diversity. The combination of warm Gulf water from the west, cooler Indian Ocean water from the east, the intense tidal flushing that pushes water in and out twice a day, and the mineral runoff from the surrounding desert landscape creates conditions that support life in unusual abundance. The coral reefs of the Persian Gulf are among the most heat-tolerant in the world. Where coral, in other tropical seas, bleaches and dies as ocean temperatures rise, the corals of the Gulf have evolved over millennia in water that regularly reaches 34 degrees Celsius in summer, water that would kill most corals instantly. They have adapted through genetic processes that scientists are only beginning to understand, producing heat shock proteins and symbiotic algae strains that allow them to survive conditions that appear incompatible with coral life. These reefs are not the extravagant structures of the Red Sea or the Coral Triangle. They are smaller, more scattered, less dramatic in appearance. But they are alive, and they support fish communities of significant diversity. Grouper, snapper, parrotfish, triggerfish, angelfish, and dozens of species of smaller reef fish moving through the coral in the swift and purposeful way of animals in a functional ecosystem. The sea turtle nesting beaches along the Iranian coast of the strait and on the islands of Hormuz and Keshem are among the most important in the region. Green turtles and hawksbill turtles return each year to the beaches where they themselves were born, navigating by magnetic sense across thousands of kilometers of open ocean to find the specific stretch of sand their bodies remember. They come ashore at night, moving in that heavy, deliberate way of air-breathing animals displaced onto land, dig their nests above the tide line, deposit their eggs, and return to the sea before dawn. The dugongs that inhabit the shallow seagrass beds of the Gulf are relicts of a once larger population. Docile, slow, warm-blooded, they graze on seagrass meadows in water just a few meters deep, animals that look improbable in this context, as if they have arrived from a gentler world and haven't quite decided to leave. Their numbers have declined significantly in recent decades, pressured by boat traffic, net fishing, and the degradation of seagrass beds. In the areas around Keshem, where they are still reliably present, local fishermen have developed an informal practice of avoiding their feeding grounds during the summer months, not through any official regulation, but through a practical respect born of long coexistence. Whale sharks pass through the strait seasonally. They are the largest fish in the ocean, filter feeders, gentle, indifferent to the small boats that sometimes drift alongside them. Encountering a whale shark in the waters near Hormuz is an experience that aligns the Strait of Hormuz with the open ocean world. A reminder that this narrow passage is connected, at its eastern end, to water that stretches without interruption to the coast of Australia and beyond. The mudflats exposed by the extreme tidal range on the northern coast of the strait are among the most productive feeding grounds in the western Indian Ocean for migratory birds. Between October and March, the coastline is visited by tens of thousands of waders, ducks, flamingos, and seabirds traveling between their Central Asian and East African wintering grounds. The flamingos are particularly visible. Large flocks of them wade the shallow tidal flats in their slow, deliberate way, filtering algae through their extraordinary bills, pink against the pale mud and the blue-gray sky of winter. The waters of the strait carry ships, yes. 20% of the world's oil, the weight of geopolitics, the attention of navies. But below the tankers and the patrol boats and the fishing dhows, the sea does what it has always done. It moves, it feeds, it cycles. It maintains with remarkable tenacity the extraordinary diversity of life that evolved here over millions of years before any human power decided this particular patch of water was worth controlling. The sea does not know it is a choke point. You can read the history of Iran in this water. The empires that rose and fell in the Iranian plateau, the Achaemenids, the Parthians, the Sassanids, the Safavids, the Qajars, all eventually reached the sea. All understood, in the way that continental powers always eventually understand, that the coast is not the edge of the country, but the front of it. That the water is not a barrier, but a road. That whoever controls the passage between the Gulf and the open ocean controls more than geography. Cyrus the Great had no navy. His successors built one. The Sassanid Persian Empire fought the Roman Byzantine world, partly for access to the Gulf trade routes. The Safavid Shah Abbas I, who drove the Portuguese from Hormuz in 1622, understood so clearly the economic value of the strait that he built a new port city, Bandar Abbas, literally the Port of Abbas, to replace the Portuguese trading infrastructure with a Persian one. Every major power that has tried to isolate Iran has had to confront the same geographical reality. A country that controls the entire northern shore of the world's most critical maritime choke point cannot be truly isolated. It can be pressured, it can be sanctioned, it can be made to suffer, but it cannot be made irrelevant to the world that runs on petroleum. The strait makes that impossible. This is part of what makes Iran mysterious to the outside world. Not the mystery of the unknown. The country is not unknown. Its history is documented for 3,000 years. Its culture has produced some of the world's greatest poetry, architecture, and philosophy. Its people are educated, connected, and deeply aware of their country's place in the world. The mystery is the mystery of the misread. Of a country that presents one face to the outside world and contains within itself a dozen other faces that the outside world rarely bothers to look for. The Strait of Hormuz is where some of those hidden faces become visible. On the islands and the coast, Iran is not the Iran of ideology and confrontation. It is older than that and more complex. It is the Iran of the Tao builders on Kashem, working with teak and memory, and a knowledge that has no written form. It is the Iran of the Bandari fishermen who identify as much with the Gulf, with the communities on the other coast, in the UAE and Oman and across to the Horn of Africa, as they do with the Iranian plateau to the north. It is the Iran of the czar drummers and the mask-wearing women and the fish market women who organize a trade that feeds inland provinces and connect local fishermen to markets 500 kilometers away. It is the Iran that the world built a picture of and missed. The Strait does this. It forces a reckoning with complexity. You cannot stand at the narrowest point, 21 miles, the water visible on both sides, and maintain a simple story about this place or the people who have inhabited its shores for 3,000 years. The tankers move through. The fishing boats dodge between them. The coral grows in water that should be too warm for coral. The turtles return to beaches they remember from the year they were born. The flamingos arrive and depart on schedules that have nothing to do with politics. The world needs the Strait. The Strait does not need the world's attention. It has the sea. There is a particular light that falls on the water here in the late afternoon. A flat, golden, slightly hazy light that the heat produces that makes the surface of the water look less like water and more like hammered metal. The tankers move through it slowly. The fishing boats rock in their wake. Hormuz Island sits at the horizon, red against the gold. Standing on the Iranian coast watching that light, it is difficult to believe in the story the world tells about this place. The story of threat and tension and strategic importance and nuclear programs and sanctions and proxy wars. Not because those things are not real, they are. But because they account for so little of what is actually here. They are the noise. The light on the water is something else. The Strait of Hormuz does not disappear when you leave. It stays with you, not as a geopolitical concept, but as a physical memory. The weight of the heat, the smell of salt and diesel and drying fish. The red soil of Hormuz Island staining your shoes. The sound of the call to prayer echoing over the harbor at dawn while the fishing boats prepare to go out. These are the things Iran does not export. These are the things the Strait contains. Follow us for more journeys into the places the world overlooks.